Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel of OCD Recovery. Today I want to talk about learning to not hate your symptoms as much. We're talking about all symptoms in this video: thoughts, images, sensation, urges, DPDR, TMS, CFS and ME, IBS, vertigo, any type of health fears and the way it feels, the realness of it, irritability, the shame, the guilt, you name it. Whatever it may be. You see a lot of people talking about how OCD is almost a thought disorder. Thoughts are just a symptom. I always tell people, when you break your leg, the pain, the blood, if it's a compound fracture, that is a symptom of the fracture, okay? Oh, look who it is. But the same thing, thoughts, images, sensation, urges are just symptoms of a larger problem. Rigid belief systems based around typically life acceptance, conditional life acceptance. My life shouldn't be this way. This is the worst thing ever. I can't believe my life turned out this way. This is where the majority, if not almost every single case of depression on earth comes from. This idea that there's a chemical imbalance that supersedes. No, 99.9% of the time, it's a belief system, rigid beliefs, habits, patterns that are insinuated by messing up with your hormones. We don't have to know more about that. It's the chicken before the egg, seeing the forest through the trees, whatever analogy or metaphor you want to use. Most people, we're starting to really realize this, thankfully, as a society, and we're going to talk all about that in this video. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this video, and let me know what symptoms you're struggling with. That way I can make more content on it. Okay, so I had horrendous physical anxiety, absolutely terrible. 10 out of 10. I probably had 7 out of 10 anxiety every second of the day or higher for 3 years straight. Bathroom 20 times a day, diarrhea, passing gas every 10 seconds. There were times where I was so gassy and farting so much, I would think I have to have like a stomach ailment. Something must be tragic. I didn't have health. I wasn't afraid of death. So it wasn't, but then something is wrong. I have to have an allergy or something like that. And it's funny because I remember thinking, if they tell me to give up gluten, I'm an Italian, that ain't going to happen. So, but that's why I didn't go all the way to the nth degree. But this feeling in my, I felt like there was a balloon, but just constantly being expanded at all times. I would be sweating, standing still. I could be sweating here with sweat dripping off of my, literally dripping off. It was absolutely wild how bad my physical anxiety. DPDR, I don't need to know, but I'm absolutely convinced my anxiety destroyed my vision in many ways. Well, destroyed is a rough word, but gave me nearsightedness because I went from 20/20 vision, no way to know for sure, and I had DPDR for so long. I think it's just obviously the anxiety fries your nerves in so many ways. I started to lose my hair a little bit. I had a little bit of a bald spot you can't really see up here. All these symptoms, wrinkles more than likely. Who knows? These are just guesses, and I don't need the certainty on that, but a lot. So the first thing you need is you need an understanding of acceptance. You have to learn about the principles of unconditional self, life, other acceptance. We're going to box those other two off and kind of throw them away, self and other acceptance. And we're going to talk about life acceptance, primarily your life and what your life is going to look like. So the beliefs are typically, if I have these symptoms for the rest of my life is ruined. I'll never be able to enjoy my life again. The totality of enjoyment. I just got off a call where I was speaking to someone about this. You have to stop the I can or I can't enjoy. It's not that simple. There's no such thing as zero enjoyment and no such thing as 100% enjoyment. You have moments of that sporadically throughout the nights or the events. Sometimes you enjoy things a little bit more or a lot more, but there's still moments of maybe blah per se or not exactly what it is. And this gets a lot of people into trouble. When your child is born into the world, you should be ecstatic. This is just ridiculous nonsense fairy tale stuff that gets people into really big trouble. So there are no rules in life or the universe of how you should or should not be feeling in any of these situations. Anyone that's telling you otherwise really does not have an understanding, a philosophical background and depth of knowledge of conditional life acceptance, of unconditional life acceptance. So first you have to read. The first step in solving any problem is understanding what's going on in balance. Of course, for OCD sufferers, we'll take it to the 9th degree. Not meaning going on ChatGPT and having a 3-hour conversation, of course. We've done plenty of videos on that. Once you read the books and understand it, now you have to start to apply it. So a practicality, as I always say, is you have to live your life exactly as you would as if you did not have OCD. So it's not going to happen overnight because some of you are housebound, bedbound, really bad TMS and CFS cases, horrible contamination, all sorts of different things. People that, takes them 2 hours to log into their laptop because they have magical thinking for 20 years. People that can't leave their house because they have horrendous OCD and they don't want to be hit on by anyone else. There's all sorts of variations. But eventually, Your goal long-term is for your life to look exactly as it would if you did not have OCD. Exactly as it would if you did not have OCD. Sometimes it takes people 3 to 6 months. Sometimes it takes people 5 to 10 years, depending on how stubborn they are. There's no rules with that. That's where the uncertainty comes in. But the quicker you do this, the potential better outcomes you'll have. I'm not saying you have to turn to David Goggins or Jocko Williams overnight, and you also don't have to be that rigid, right? We could take principles and learning lessons from different people and how they live their life. But again, as Jim Rohn says, be a student, not a follower. You don't have to be an ultramarathon runner if you don't want to. You don't have to hike 14 years like I do and work out in 4 in the morning. People always ask me, how do you get up at 4 in the morning? I'm like, don't worry about how I get up at 4 in the morning. That's what works well for my schedule. It might not work well for you. So you have to start with that and then start going from there. The small things that you could do. I'm telling you right now, if you're avoiding anything in your life, the chances of you accepting your physical sensations as a long-term unconditional life acceptance perspective, foundation baseline, is 0. It's not possible. It's like saying you want to recover from alcohol whilst drinking tequila. It's 2 negative ions bouncing off each other. It does not work like that. So you are going to have to get to a place to where eventually, I'll say it for the 15th time, your life looks exactly as it would. You're going for it, you're living life, and you're doing things on your terms, okay? That's a wishy-washy statement that gets said. When I mean by living life on your terms, you're going to feel like fucking shit. You're going to feel horrible when you're doing that. You know, when people live life on your terms, and it's like some person dancing in the field, they're like, la, 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 la. It's like, no, that's not what this is. You're going to feel absolutely horrendous. Your symptoms are more than likely going to go up and bell curve before they come back down. And that's what's going to happen for most people. And that bell curve, as you're cutting compulsions, as you're living your life, as you're decreasing avoidance, as you're bringing for the rise, you're reading a book for a second or third time, as you're doing disputing on paper, okay? The reality is your symptoms don't just usually do this. It's like, whoa, what does this person think he's doing? Oh, he thinks he's going to get better? I don't think so. Jack it up, jack it up, jack it up. It's like there's a person in your brain with a lever. They're like, who does he think or she is? Jack that anxiety up. Make him shit his pants. Make his vision blurry. Like all sorts of stuff like that to get you to go back into solving and avoiding. So again, it's learning about acceptance, then applying it over a long period of time, bringing all those sensations for the ride, and making numerous mistakes. 10,000 mistakes. There's no way you're going to go from call 1 to where I am. It's going to take you a couple years. It will take you a couple years to really get a foundation of unconditional acceptance. Can you make great progress in 6 months? Yes. Have I ever met anyone that has strong, robust, unconditional acceptance at 6 months with no avoidance, no reassurance, anything? Never met them one time. Not once. That's okay. You got to hear that reality. You hear this nonsense of like, you know, you should be recovered in 6 months and the stages of recovery. That's all nonsense and fairy tale. It's like, it's going to take time. It's messy. There's ups and downs. You're going to have to bring that for the ride. So that's what you got to do. And I'm telling you, when you go to these events, you're not going to be present. You're not going to be nearly as focused. You're not going to enjoy it as much, but you have no choice. We can teach you how to do that. I can show you guided. We have our new subscriptions. People coming in every single week. Great deal. I'm telling you, it's amazing. The amount of people I have that have signed up, they're coming in weekly or 2 times a week sometimes in the beginning, and they're obviously spaced it out long term, but to get that consistency in the beginning, to get the momentum going. Full access to all the webinars, full access to our WhatsApp groups, which has, by the way, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of content that does not go anywhere else. I put about 10, 15 articles in there a month, hours of voice note. That's just me responding to people. I mean, it is a value that is unbelievable. I can help you get your life back. The team can help you get your life back. Why? Because we've been there. Okay? As I always say, I love watching World War II stuff. I have no idea what it's like to. I'm literally watching The Pianist right now. Or, you know, I love watching Saving Private Ryan. I love watching We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson. I have no idea what it's like to drop in a helicopter in a war zone. I would shit myself. You know? I'm sure many tough guys, or thought they were tough, you know, they're crying to their mothers like they were on the beach from Saving Private Ryan, which is understandable when you have bullets flying all around you. You know, because I don't have the personal experience. But I have the personal experience with OCD. I've lived a life. I've walked it. I was in the mental hospital. The cops were at my house. I don't want to live anymore. I get it. I've walked that journey. I can help you get better. We understand the nuances. Please come in. Phil@ocdrecovery.com. Hope to hear from you soon. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.